which is, of course, the best YouTube channel in the world. It's true. I mean, it's not a channel I watch very often. I mean, actually, I do watch it relatively often. I don't watch my live streams obviously because I'm busy making them. I can't watch them concurrently. I mean, I do actually watch them concurrently. I guess that's what engagement with the chat is, but I don't rewatch them. Anywho, that's neither here nor there. The slabs be popping, and they just aren't stopping. Um, they're the bubble. A lot of bubbles burst yesterday in Slab Town. Oh yeah, everything's good. I I couldn't sleep because yeah, real estate stuff's got me thinking. Exactly, you pegged it right on the head. But it's good news. They've already transferred the money to the escrow company. We close on Monday. The real estate agent says like it's definitely a done deal. There's no chance of it falling apart. So much so that I locked all of my keys inside of the house over there. I mean, I could get into the lockbox, but until yesterday, I didn't actually know the combo to the lockbox. Regardless, they'll take the lockbox away. Yeah, so the only thing that could possibly get in the way of closing on Monday would be some weird slowness with the county, which could potentially push it to Tuesday morning. But we're scheduled to close on Monday, and the only thing that would get in the way is not the seller or the buyer. But yesterday was yeah, we're still going to Vegas. We've been, Rachel more than me, has been stressed about the house sale. I kind of figured early on that this looks like it's a solid one that is going to go through. So it's trust to trust. Makes it a little easier. Am I smoking spice? No, I'm smoking tobacco. Smoking a Marlboro Red. I don't know what spice is even. You want me to start vaping too? I mean, I already smoke. Isn't that enough, James Clark? So anyway, that's big news, and Rachel's been pretty stressed out about it because you know we've got portfolio stuff tied up in probate right now. So it's like the only no, I'm not from West Virginia. I'm from Mariposa, California. That's where I'm from. See? Near Yosemite. I'm not near. Well, I like them off, but I can't read the chat. I don't like these glasses particularly. I just I need them to see because I broke my other glasses that I prefer by sitting on them. So I take them off when I don't have any chats to read. It's a lovely morning, but I got almost no sleep last night just because a lot of shit in the works. Did I work in construction? No. I did not, Syed Abbas. What is the most TI job among the arts? I'm not sure if there are a lot of TI jobs among the arts. TI is not an art friendly thing. TI is for things that can be deconstructed. And no, I don't play Fortnite. No, I wasn't a porn star. Hi, D3. What is TI? Introverted thinking. It refers to basically verbal reasoning like conditional logic and syllogism, stuff like that. But it's also a frame of reference for how to make decisions, how to determine things. Like you can determine them according to your own interests or according to a disinterested calculus. As per like a referee, for example, has a disinterested calculus. They don't care which team wins. Presumably, they're just trying to call the game correctly. Well, good for you, Ali Tokes. No, you can be gay here. It's fine. What is any and what is NI jobs among yours? Well, I mean, NE is very much content creating, like you see me doing it right now, right? I do live in a simulation. Hmm. Does that make you an NPC? I didn't know the NPCs were telling me about the simulation now. NI jobs, same sort of thing. Like most of my favorite musical artists probably are, or maybe a majority. I'm not sure, but a substantial chunk of them are NI DOMs. Sounds like the birds are up already fighting. No makes me a god, 'cause I am in one. Good for you, Divineful. You are NPC. You don't know that you are in. I'm in your simulation. Oh, okay. I'm just an NPC in your simulation. We had a real NPC moment yesterday when we were in town to get a pizza. Um, there's this crosswalk that you push a button and then these blinking lights start and then you can walk across. And when we walked up to the crosswalk to get to it, there was a guy who was like maybe like a 15-year-old kid who was just standing there like this. And then as soon as we got there and pushed the button, he's like, ah, like he like re-entered life. It was weird. It was like he had an event trigger. Good morning, June. Look, how are you? Is UX design NIFE? I don't know what UX design is. Stop acting like I didn't have you gripping them sheets last night. Unfortunately, I spent very little time in the sheets last night. I pretty much stayed up all night, but I did sleep a little bit. You were Mia in Vietnam. Oh, you were MIA. Gotcha. Am I on PDP? Is that personality database? I don't know. I never looked at that thing. Rachel probably knows all about that, but she is actually sleeping, which is nice. It's good for her. And a greasy torta? What's a greasy torta? I don't know what that is. All right. Let's go inside and pull some bong rips. What do you say? Who's down for some bong rips? I am. Me. I'm down. Well, good. But you know, Eric, they're not going to pull themselves. I know. I'll pull them. Don't worry. You don't need to worry about that, Divine Pull. I will pull the bong rips. I know you were fretting considerably about that. And once I bring up the live stream on the TV, then I'll be able to read things without putting my glasses on. And thank you, Winston's Mom, for saying that the glasses work well on me. It's not the worst uh, thing in the world that I put on, but I don't know. I prefer glasses that look just like this, but that have more magnification. So the other thing that happened in our neighborhood yesterday that was significant is a man died. A man died just down there on Snyder Creek, which is the corner of Snyder Creek and Cedar, which is like a block away from us. When we drove home from getting that pizza, we saw a bunch of um, we saw a bunch of fire trucks, police cars, stuff like that. I didn't find out how he died, but I closed the car down and said, "Is everything all right?" Yeah, and they said, "No." We spent the last 45 minutes. You know, he didn't say we spent the last 45 minutes, but it probably took the emergency services 45 minutes to get there because that's how long it takes to get here, and you can only go so fast on these little windy roads, and fire trucks, they can't go, they can't even go as fast as a regular car can go. So it took them at least 45 minutes to get here. They were doing CPR the whole time until the paramedics got here, and then the paramedics got there, and we couldn't do anything for the guy. I don't know the guy personally, but I probably met him at the Christmas party, because there was a neighborhood Christmas party we went to. Russians display U.S. last brute force. Let's give them last display of courage. Are you with me? I mean, I'm. If you mean, am I with you that we should employ military force to prevent Russia from its imperialism and seizing of territory? Absolutely, I agree with you. Absolutely. Life. No one gets out alive. I think they can, but need to be alone to recharge. Yeah, ISFJs. I mean, ISFJs, INFJs, both. Their tool function is extroverted feeling. So they're gonna seem like to third parties more sociable than they actually are, and people aren't gonna, because they do a good job of managing their schedules and stuff. People aren't gonna see how much downtime they actually need. Eric, what inspired you the song Amelia? Did you know an actual Amelia? No, but it's about it's not her name, but it's about a specific person whose name is Brittany, who is this kind of crazy lady who was around the channel, who thought she was everything but an ESFP, which is what she was, and um, anyway, she showed up at my house one day. So anyway, it's about her. No, I'm not kidding. Doorbell rang, went up in the door. There was this lady I'd seen online in video conferences, not video conferences. They used to have chat rooms where multiple people were in there on video. I don't do that anymore, but I used to do that. So I knew what she was. I knew who it was immediately. When I saw her, I was like, Brittany? It was graphic design, good for strong knees. I don't think so. I would guess not. How don't you cough? I got god lungs. I've been smoking weed since I was 14 years old. I'm now 54. So that's 40 years. I'm celebrating my 40-year weed anniversary this year. Isn't that great? I'm celebrating it all year. Do I like cute British boys? No. No, thank you. I'm happily married to my beautiful wife, Rachel. No, me and Kimberly went out to eat with her and made it clear she could not stay with us just by showing up and, you know, and, uh, yeah, I gave her a t-shirt or something and she went away. Hi, Justin Sanchez. Olu. Thank you. Many more years to you as well. May you live long and prosper. Yeah. And as you can tell by the song, if you know the song, I wasn't trying to bash her in it. Yeah, Nick, I saw you. Hello. What's up with you? What's the filter for? Um, I don't like to get so much resin on my lips. It starts to taste really bad. So I don't know what the string this is or anything. I really have no idea. I could just do this too, which would help. Get some of this alcohol here and clean the mouth thing with it. This is Fire Crotch, my bong. As you see, fire goes directly into her crotch. She's a Native American from the Fire Crotch Indian tribe. Sir, what's life in America feel like? Wow, when things are going well, it feels fantastic. I've already shouted you out, Nick, multiple times. Okay, Mr. Gurr, you're going to have to be satisfied with that. I've shouted both Nick out and Mr. Gurr, so I don't know what else you can ask for. Hi, Cone Man. No, it's exactly as Winston's mom says, and I don't mean to be talking shit about her or anything. It just I don't know how it came up even. Oh, I know. Show Media asked um about Amelia. That's too woke. What's too woke? I see bot comments. There might be bot comments. I don't know. We would be sending bots around here. Can I climb glass? No, I cannot. I'm from Indonesia, sir, and I can speak English a little. Good for you. Congratulations. Alex Alvarado, he wants you to say both his names, so you say the N word. Yes, I know that, Alex Alvarado. That's I've been live streaming a long time. I've seen Nick in many incarnations. Okay, does Eric like anime? Fuck yeah, Eric likes anime. How did you get out of your test tube then? I don't know. Jesus loves you, sir. Well, thanks. Appreciate that. No, it's not. It's Amelia. It like, in the bridge part, it says, um, I don't remember. I do not like One Piece. Parasite, I think I watched some of it. I'm not sure. In the chat, we hear it multiple times. Yes, once in a while. Not in the audio. Do I have Parkinson's? No, I'm just knee jiggling, I like to knee jiggle. But no, I don't have anything like that. What's the biggest ENTP trigger? What do you have a PhD in? That's a big one. It's like, oh my God. I made all these beautiful arguments and she just ignored them all. I gotta say, the second video I made about the linkage, the purported linkage that's falsified by a long-term study done in somewhere like in Norway or something. The second video I did, which was a critique of her paper plus, a counter plan of sorts. That video, which is called Marijuana and Cognitive Decline at Monica Whatever. That's a great video. It's a brilliant video. Hi, dude. Rachel's asleep. Tyler wants to know, how much meth do you put in the pipe for one hit? Not a whole ton, okay? Because you don't want it to burn. If you put a lot of it in there, it's definitely going to burn before you get it all smoked. So I start with a small sliver, and don't smoke the first hit, right? You melt it without touching the pipe, okay? And then blow out the first hit. through the pipes, through the top hole and the bowl part, the globe part. Oh yeah, I get plenty of trolls. Is being anti-intellectual a big ENTP trigger? Well, to some extent, yeah. For example, the statement "talk is cheap" is going to bother ENTPs, or just in general, the idea of we don't need to continue talking about this. We just need to do what I say. What's my opinion on psychedelic drugs? Uh, how many and which kind? Because here I am, ready to do them. Can I, can I is legal here in Virginia, 4 plants per person. Oh, that's cool. Uh, it's 5 per person here per house. So we have 2 adults here per adult. DMT's great. I like it. Shrooms are great. Take them all the time. I wish I took them more all the time, but I take them as often as I can. Yeah, we were allowed 5 per person, but I only got 9. And there's 2 people here. So we're one under the legal limit. I got a little cushion so nobody could even complain. You want to see them? Let's go take a look. Are what expensive? The shrooms? I think I got almost a half ounce for 120 last time, which is 4/8 if you want to reference it that way. Is that expensive? It's just like the same price they've always been, Mushrooms have never changed price. So the ones down here get a little bit less sunlight because of this big tree here than the ones down there, and you can kind of see how these ones they get bushier as we go along. What strains are they all? I don't even remember. I got some of last year's seeds and some of this year's seeds. I had some last year's seeds left over, and I planted some this year's seeds, and I have no idea what came up. There was a couple that I had problems with because there was a late freeze, so some died right here, and I replaced them with new ones. This one, like, barely made it from the late freeze, and you can see it's still stunted from that experience because it was like hailing super big. You can still see the hail holes in some of the big leaves, but they were covered up, and I came out and I pulled all the hail off of it, and I said, "Oh, I think it's gonna die, but let's give it a chance." And it survived like a trooper. No, I don't grow my own mushrooms. I just buy them. It's not just because that's illegal. That doesn't really have much to do with it. It just seems more difficult than growing weed. I don't know. You gotta deal with sterilizing stuff and growing gross funguses. That's not satisfying to me, I don't think. And I type number here. I don't know what that means. Yeah, they're probably mostly sativa dominant because that's typically what I get when I buy seeds. I could look and see exactly what all the seeds are. They're in here, I believe. Now I'm going to need my glasses again. Let me get them. I don't think anything of his are psych videos. I don't think I've ever watched them. Or if I do, if I have, I don't remember. This is. I think I watched one and it was terrible. This is 24 karat. I don't. I think this was a free one we got. This one is LPC FP4. This is LPC. I don't know what that stands for. This is DPO, Durban Poison. This is Durban Poison. This is Super Skunk. This is Godfather. And I think I got one like SBL. Oh, this is Serious Black. Serious Black. The only one we don't know is the LPC. Oh, London Pound Cake. London Pound Cake. That's what it is. Boom. Got them all. They didn't have names on them, but I got them all. Yeah, we're going to go to Vegas relatively soon. We got the neighbors watching the house and stuff, so. But it's generally still a bad idea to really talk about when you're going out of town online on a video, just because in theory people could see it as a crime of opportunity and find your house and rob you. They're like Tolkien's books? No, I don't like him. I can't read this shit. It's just too much. It's like, get along with it already. Try not to get buried in dessert there. Or desert. I'll try not to get buried in either of them. I don't want to get buried in dessert or in desert. So, there you go. I don't know what type. Desert? Dessert? I don't remember which one's which now. Well, that's dessert, right? Oh, a casino? Did somebody get buried in dessert? I'm pretty sure one S is desert, two S's is dessert. I think, right? Or do I have it backwards? Pavlova would be all right. I don't know those films that well. I like to stand, I want to make it go like this so that it looks like it's spinning on top of my head. Right. Okay. Right. There. Does it look like I'm wearing it as a hat now? Oh my god, I'm gonna fly away. Do I like horror in general? No. I don't hate it. There's a couple of good horror films, you know. Cream Brodeth or garrote cheesecake. Oh, I see. It's a mobster thing. Helicopter Mind. Two S's in the food. Yeah, I agree. What about Stephen King? I read one or two of his books, but I I found I read Carrie. I found that a little disturbing. Enough that I remember the book pretty well. I don't think that means it's a good book. I think it means it disturbed me a little bit. I never saw the movie. I don't think so. No. I've seen clips from the movie. Is he an INTP? I don't know. Dirty Pillows, yeah. And plug it up, plug it up. It's like not enough magic, too much buildup in his books. Too much normality. I remember another one of his books that I read that the only thing I really remember from it is the guy in it, the main character, chewed on Tylenol occasionally and it would give him a little high. Which, of course, is kind of a dangerous thing to put in a book because taking too much Tylenol is really bad for you. John Carpenter's The Thing is a masterpiece. I've never seen it, I don't think. So, I'm gonna spend the day sort of getting ready to go to Vegas. I'll probably just like stay up most of the day and then probably get sleepy in the afternoon. I basically only slept like maybe 1 or 2 hours last night. You know what I've had in the back of this car for way too long, and which I need to remove, is this bag of cement. So in order to do that, I'm going to get the dolly. This is my beautiful dolly. I got it at Home Depot because I didn't have one, and I love it. It's a great dolly. Okay. Pick this up like this, and we'll go for a little ride. As you see, it handles the bumpy road no problem because it's a good dolly. When I got this cement, I foolishly thought, oh, this is better than concrete because it's just the good part without the little rocks in it. But then I read the back of it, and it turns out you have to mix in little rocks or sand. So, I don't know. I don't know how to get it to look like this. What's this, I want it to look like this. Not like full of little rocks. Yeah, purple orange. Sometimes her last name is Parton. I didn't name my Dolly Parton though. I named it Dolly Madison. That's the other common name amongst dollies. And yes, we should all name our dollies, I think. Okay. So I got one thing done that I have to do today. Maybe we'll go clean the car in a second. It's not that messy because I cleaned it not that long ago, but it still has like some McDonald's in the back from, I'm not sure when. Quite some time ago, I would guess. It's a 7-hour drive, a little more than 7 hours, so figure 8 with a couple stops, stretch your legs, get gas, etc. Pretty long drive, but manageable. Winston's mom, was that you? That's very rude. I keep hearing this meow. You guys hear that? I was hearing this last night too. What is it? What is that, do you think? It must be a bird. A bird that sounds like a kitten. I was hearing it last night. I got my flashlight. I was like, is there a kitten out here or something? God forbid. I cannot have a kitten. I do not want any more pets. 2 pets I have are plenty trouble enough. I have many coats and colors. Sometimes it's frogs. You have coats and frogs? Oh, sometimes it's frogs at me regarding something I said. Oh, Dolly Frogs? that doesn't make any sense to me. Although I don't dislike the name. I'm Dolly Frogs. Dolly Frogs? It's spelled D-A-L-E, okay? Pronounced Dolly. Oh, like Dolly Gas. Exactly. My mother named me after that. What door did I come out of? Oh. Because I must have come out of this door. I should just leave the doors unlocked now. Since I'm walking around and stuff. Sometimes frogs sound like birds. Oh. So this frog sounds like a bird that sounds like a kitten? We do have little frogs around here. I found a dead frog yesterday. Yesterday was a trio of death, okay? First I had this horrible experience with this snake on the road. Somebody, not me, had run it over partially and it was suffering. So I went back to try to run it over again and put it out of its misery. And I had to go back a few times. It was a terrible spot on the road to be doing that stuff. I was worried about a car coming and running into us, you know? And finally I got it, but I wasn't even sure if I got it. I just drove away because I couldn't stand it anymore. I was like freaking out kind of with my FI. My FI freaks out when there's an animal suffering. And finally turned around, drove back, and I had gotten it on the last go over, which made me feel better. But hilariously, during this process, I'm freaking out, not knowing what to do because there's no place to pull over so I can get out and dispatch it with a rock or something. It's a terrible situation. So I'm just trying to run it over again so I could just go move on because I couldn't stand to leave it suffering like that, you know? And then in the middle of me freaking out, Rachel, who's desperate to try to say something that was going to help, says, "You could light it on fire." And she explained later she had a lighter in her hand. And even as I'm emotionally freaking out about this animal suffering, she says this and I just burst into laughter because what a crazy thing to say. She was just trying to help, you know, like she was thinking, I got a lighter, maybe, what can we do? She said, maybe you can, said she was thinking maybe you could stab her with a stick. But thing is, the problem was, if I could have gotten out of the car and dealt with her right there without walking a long distance, there was just no place to pull over for quite some distance from there, you know? So, that just kind of demonstrates TE polar, I think. You get lighted on fire? What? So anyway, we had that snake. And that was the first death of the day. Then, as we're driving home, we see all the fire trucks and everything, and learn that the gentleman down the street, I think his name's Ross, passed away, despite the urgent CPR efforts of what looked like a decent group of neighbors and stuff. We live way back in the woods, so it takes a long time for the paramedics to get here. And then when we got home, there was this stick. What I thought was a stick, but I had an inkling might be a frog, because it was like a stick that looked like a frog. I looked at it up close yesterday, and it was in fact a dead frog. It was right outside of this house door right here, and that is it. Things tend to come in threes. So, yeah, the meaning slabs. That's right. Powdered dusty. Slabs, they are a moving. The we're selling a house that we bought. We bought and thinking we were going to do this with it, and we didn't do that with it, and now we're selling. And it's more or less closed. The other people, it's a, are they've already wired the money to the escrow. Our real estate agent says it's a done deal. Hi, Mrs. Macro 3. So we're supposed to close on Monday, formally, which means we get the money on Monday, and it's really a done deal. But it should be no problems at this point. Yeah, that's Taylor. You can tell by his picture. Profile picture. PFP, as it's called. That's Yaylor. It's not just Taylor. That's Yaylor. So anyway, we had 3 deaths yesterday. We had one big piece of good news. And then we've got a trip to Vegas upcoming. And getting ready for that stuff. What was your favorite gay experience as a young man? I'd say it was probably members only jackets. I think they were pretty fun and extremely gay. How about you? Egg-shaped Israeli operative. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on. Is it easy for me to type kids? I've typed lots of them. Is it easy? Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. Just like with regular people. I mean, now the kids aren't regular people, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I used to wear members only jackets, and now looking back in retrospect, very gay jackets, kind of like robin's egg blue, and I wouldn't, have the collar up. I wouldn't look like that today, but that's probably my favorite gay experience, wearing those. In retrospect, looking back, obviously, what I'm saying is those jackets were extremely gay. But I think you're going to find yourself unable to, you know, successfully troll in this fashion. This cat sleeps in the weirdest ways. As soon as I try to move around to get a better shot of it, of course, he wakes up and moves. I don't think that it's time quite for another cigarette. I don't know what it's time for. Or I need to eat a little bit of food. So let's go eat these little pastries that we have. Excuse me, kitty. Thank you. He likes to just sit right in the way, so you have to walk over him. I wonder what he'd do if I started going around. Well, show me you have to wait for that as well. This is not going to be a particularly long stream because I might end up going back to bed. I'm feeling like I feel super tired. So, I'm going to clean up the kitchen before we go, so I'm going to come back to any dirty dishes I have. Are we watching you eat now? Okay. Hey, brother. Doing lately? It's like a toll he has to pay to eat with me watching. They get to comment. I'm going to try going the other way now. Ooh. I mean, that's where the clog is. get hairs. What's the cost of eating? You have to let me comb your fur and clean you so you're less gross. You're a real long hair, you know that? You're a real hippie long hair. The hope is, of course, that I have less cat hair to clean with a vacuum and broom. It's the easier way to get it, right? And I have to stand there watching him eat. And I might as well comb him. Now he's gonna want fresh water because he's a princess. Here you go, princess. You look a lot better since I started combing you. So that's not why I'm combing him. You got Tom coloring from Tom and Jerry. Eric, what is one question you'd ask to distinguish if someone is an ENFP or an ENTP? I'd say, ask me some kind of creative, logical question. You know, like, if Mary goes to the bank but doesn't know him yet, make up something like that. See what they come up with. Multifaceted tends to be an FI term. I'm not multifaceted, I'm correct. You know, I'm faceted in very specific directions. Even if I were to articulate various things that I do, I see them less as expressions of self than ideally works that aren't expressions of self, if one can manage it, to make them as much pieces of art independent of authorship and your personal experience as possible. I mean, it's conceivable to get too NI and too like shallow and stuff, but that's not. I'm not worried about that. My propensity is to be too complicated. Hi, little bird. Well, I started putting the seeds around the back, little bird, so if you want sunflower seeds, you have to go around the back. Where I put them on the ground. And the dirt parts so that they don't make a mess on the driveway. Oh, I didn't bring my glasses out. Nor did I open the window, either of which would solve this problem. Let's do both. we have two solutions. We need one of them, arbitrarily pick one of them, to be necessary and sufficient, and the other one to be sufficient but not necessary. For the problem at hand. Avoiding this, of course, what's known as redundancy. Redundancy is not always a bad thing. It's a bad thing sometimes when you're writing, but you probably hear in your English classes when you're growing up that whatever I was saying, don't be redundant. But that doesn't apply to, say, technical systems, problem solving. Redundancy can be a good thing. Sometimes it's a necessary good thing, sometimes it's improvement, and it's possible for it to be too much redundancy, I guess. Purple orange, if all Erics say meow and I'm Eric, am I say meow? Okay. Yeah, because I have a problem, right? I can't read the chat. I have two possible solutions. I can get my glasses and read the chat on the phone, or I can open the window and read the chat on the screen. So one of these solutions is, either solutions is necessary and sufficient, because other solutions is a precursor, the precursor to me having either of the solutions is not being able to read the text, and the solution is being able to read the text. I can do that with either of them. But one of them is necessary, and the other one is sufficient, but not necessary, because you could use it to solve the problem, but you don't have to. No, I'm talking about necessary and sufficient conditions. So, like, if the goal is to sell ice cream, having ice cream is a necessary but insufficient condition to selling ice cream, right? Just having ice cream is a precondition to you doing anything else about selling ice cream. There are maybe other things that are necessary preconditions to selling ice cream too, like a business license if you want to be all official about it or something. But in other instances, you can think of a single thing that's necessary and sufficient, like this instance. Glasses are necessary for me to read the text, and they're sufficient for me to read the text. Okay, well, someone else can have the ice cream and you can just be the middleman. Fair enough. That's true. So you could sell, but at some point you must have possession of the ice cream to be a middleman, right? Otherwise, the ice cream is going directly from the first man to the last man. So if you rephrase it as it's necessary to, at some point, have possession of ice cream to sell it, then fine. Now you could talk about, like, say, some sort of consideration of ice cream as a commodity that is traded in a fungible sense, but it doesn't really work like that. So I think it's fair to say at some point having ownership, responsibility, custodianship, or whatever for ice cream is a necessary precondition to selling it. And it's not sufficient, is the point. Am I Jeff Goldblum's brother? No. And just like a necessary precondition to being a pig farmer is to have pigs, but it's not sufficient to being a pig farmer. I might have two pigs. Doesn't make me a pig farmer. You know, I'm just a guy with two pigs. What's wrong with that? Why are you judging? I mean, I'm not so sure about that with Jeff Goldblum. I think it can be difficult to tell ENFP apart. Sometimes it's easier than others. But without talking to them, directly checking their TI and stuff, you know. How does one achieve the creamy and rich consistency of ice cream? Well, with coldness, cream, salt, stirring, and a lot of love. That's how. You could just take some cream and put it in your freezer and take it out and rip the box off around it. You might have to pour a little bit out because it's going to expand. You can pour it into two different like pans. Just put it in there. What do you think would happen if you did that? Would you still enjoy your ice cream? Well, it wouldn't have sugar in it, but you can make some sugar in it, I guess, and just put it in there. It's all. That's more or less all ice cream is, right? Minus the stirring. You say, well, I don't need this stirring. What do I need this stirring for? Enjoy it sparingly. I don't eat a lot of ice cream. I don't eat very much sugar anymore. I went through quite a phase of eating candy, but I've kind of done a good job of not doing that. Anyways, is Enneagram valid? No, well, I mean, it's not a matter of validity or not. It's not making those kind of arguments. It's it's not something that you can. There's no defensible Enneagram. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have. It's not correct about some things. Like I think to think of it as a sub taxonomy of your FI is to afford the right level of significance. It's probably true that our emotional selves are there are three core negative emotions of fear and shame and anger, which is not necessarily negative. Um, do I enjoy steak? Yeah, I do enjoy steak, but not very often because it's expensive. Is TE actually subjective in your opinion? Well, sure, because it's driven by having a goal, or which is either uh, exploiting an opportunity or solving a problem. Solving a problem is just sort of proactively like taking advantage of a problem-free moment, I guess, to generate stuff. It's like it's TE has to start with I need to know what the subjective goal is, what your interest is here, what my interest is here, what someone's interest is here to move forward and ordinate things. Like, what am I trying to ordinate? Well, I want to take out the trash. Okay, well, here's how to do it in 4 steps. So you have to know the subjective thing first of all, and you'll note that the person might say, here's how you do it in 4 steps, or might say, here's how you do it in 3 steps, or might say, here's how you do it in 5 steps. Might phrase it differently, but have the same core ideas of go to the trash can, take the bag out, carry it to the outside trash can, put it in, come back in, put a new bag in the trash can, move the trash can back where it goes. Those are the real steps of taking out the trash. I don't remember. I didn't keep count of them. No, God could not make a square triangle either. What's your title? Where you work, bro? What's my job? I don't have a job. I don't work anywhere. Um, if you don't have specific skill or success in life, I can't respect him as a human being. Really? Oh, I mean, okay, that's fine. You don't have to respect me as a human being. Well, that's fine. The Enneagram offers us a way to look at. Thanks for going to sleep, computer. Thanks a lot. To understand our defense mechanisms and hopefully improve upon the fight, flight, or freeze. Head, heart, gut. I mean, I think flight, fight, or freeze is specific to, I guess they call it the gut, right? The top ones. 891. 8 is fight. 9 is freeze. 1 is flight. Is this TE stuff? Oh, that mindset? Yeah, that mindset is TE stuff. I see. You're making fun. It's TESE. It's a combination of the two. But if you are an ISFP, it's fourth slot for you. Instrumental, mostly instrumental, and something you wouldn't mind delegating to somebody else. Like, oh God, I have to do that stuff? Okay. You can do it, fine, really. You can TE, fine, but like any sensible person, you don't like to. What's Treble doing? He's sleeping over there. Face down. Again. Feeling like Admiral of the Armada of cats, I think. It's kind of a nicely framed picture with the red bag over there. Well, he likes to block the passageways. So if he thinks I'm going to go outside next, he wants to be between me and where he thinks I'm going to go. Because he's very dog-like. But he's come to understand that when we're sleeping, he needs to be out here. Sleep out here. He's very much like a dog. And once he's eating and stuff, a lot of times he'll try to climb up here on my lap. I let him sit on my lap for a little while, but it's like, okay. Hello, Elpidio Nunez. What's up? Not a whole hell of a lot. Oh. You should say, like, whatever I want. Something like that. What do you do, bro? Whatever I want. Wherever I want, whenever I want. How about you? Are you more limited in your scope of action than I am? Yeah, well, I don't know. Is English more TI or TE? Language is TI, not just English. Other languages as well are TI. The statement connectives and an or, if, then, and not, I'm pretty sure they're universal. Like, maybe there's some language that doesn't have any conditionality in it, but I doubt it. All language should be very TI because that's where TI is the logic of languages, not just talking language, but other kinds of languages too. Uh, the logic of that's universalized, where it's externally validated, and that's different than TE, which is validated against your goal or your subjective, solution that you're going to have or whatever. Well, I'm glad to hear that you failed, Hero Lamb. Next time somebody says that to you, just go like, whatever I want. That's what I do. It's a free country. Ah, I'm tired. I think I'm gonna split and try to go back to bed for a bit. I've done a fair amount of stuff this morning. So, all right, I'll see you later, guys. Thanks a lot for being here. Love you all. I'll be back soon enough.